Love you. You're recording. Yeah.
I don't really care, I will never bury you. It is easy, you don't believe me. I don't really want, I would never want that. You will hear me, the things I say. I don't really care, I will never bury you. It is easy, you don't believe me. I don't really want, I would never want that. You will hear me, the things I say. I don't really care, I will never bury you. It is easy, you don't believe me. I don't really want, I would never want that. You will hear me, the things I say. I don't really care, I will never bury you. It is easy, you don't believe me. I don't really want, I would never want that. You will hear me, the things I say. I don't really care, I will never bury you. It is easy, you don't believe me. I don't really want, I would never want that. You will hear me, the things I say. I don't really care, I will
Alrighty. Here we are leaving Go AZ, waiting for traffic. As always, this exit sucks. But here we are on the V4 Panigale. So the quick shifter is buttery smooth. Throttle response is a little lacking, and I think that's because of the wow. So when you get on this bike, coming from a $12.99, $11.99 even, you're gonna notice the tank is a much fatter. It's a much fatter tank. However, it's not awkward. You almost feel like you get a better bite with your legs into the tank, which is actually really nice. Now the seat, I'll tell you what, the seat has drastically improved from the 11 to the 12 and now to this bike. It's catching up to it's catching up to BMW's Lazy Boy seats. It's very comfortable, honestly. The clutch is absolutely beautiful. I mean, it's obviously it's a quick shifter, so you don't really need the clutch. However, I still like to use it, kind of get a feel for the engagement, disengagement, friction zone, and all that good stuff. You get a lot of feedback from them, especially this. The quick shifter, I've used it 3 times already, and first and second's always a little harsh. It's just kind of the way they are, but it's not that bad, honestly. They're not nearly that bad in comparison to the 1299. 1299s are a much harsher engagement, whereas this bike is much smoother and buttery smooth. One thing you're going to notice with slow speed, it's much more usable around town. Being that I'm you know, getting on to and getting off these little side streets, I have to go slow and then speed up, obviously, and it's kind of stop and go, and you kind of got to get in first and second gear only, and then go from there. And this thing doesn't look nearly as bad as the 11 and 1299 did. Not did, they still do. So around town, right off the bat, is going to be a world better. Oh my god, this thing leans in. The engine. Son of a bitch, is that nice. The lean-in of this bike is, like they've said in reviews, it's telepathic. You can just kind of lean and just give it just a consistent throttle. Like that turn right there, it's a consistent roll and throttle. And she stays exactly where you're pointing. Where you're looking is where this bike's gonna go. So if you're one of those riders who likes to look at the ground and not look where they're going or where they need to go, you are gonna crash. This bike will go where you're looking. Oh my God, the quick shifter on this is impressive. Wow. So it's a little bit windy today. And most of the bikes, when it's windy, because of the full fairing like this, will blow you side to side pretty bad. This bike kind of isn't much different. However, it feels like it's a little more sturdy than other bikes. It's like the 1299, it feels like it's not as much of a sail as the 1299 is, which is surprising. Man, the downshifts, just seamless. Third, so this is the base model. This doesn't have the upgraded suspension. This doesn't have the better Dolan shocks. But honestly, this may be one of those bikes that this is in race mode. Who put this in race mode? Nice. I didn't even notice that. So I guess there's a speed camera somewhere around here, which I gotta look out for. Because demo bike don't normally like to get speeding tickets. Alright, so let's talk about the important part here. The heat. Now, the 11 and 1299, we all know, roasted, and I mean roasted, your undercarriage really badly. So far, this has not nearly roasted. Granted, I haven't been riding long, but I'm also not riding that fast. And the only heat that I am getting is off of my right foot. The way this exhaust is routed, it's closer to your right calf and your right ankle. So right away, I know that in the summertime, if you're in stop and go, your right foot is going to absolutely cook, especially your ankle. So if you're one of those guys who likes to wear shorts for whatever wicked reason, you're going to end up burning yourself. See all these stupid little cameras? Yeah, they're speed cameras. It's the only city that still has it. The exhaust, like I said, in a hot summer day, is going to be exactly that. It's going to be very hot. You're going to roast your ankle and your calf. I highly suggest you guys that wear shorts to not do it, because it's going to suck. It's going to be hot. Now, let's talk about ergonomics. The foot pegs, they're in the typical Ducati position. They're a little far back, and they are kind of crunched. Kind of, and I don't mean like that in a bad way. They're definitely not terrible. I've had other bikes where they feel like they're way too high. I'm 6 even, so when they're up a little bit too high, they end up being very, 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 very uncomfortable. This is not the case. It looks like they use the same pegs on the rear sets that the 1299 Anniversario has, so there's actually grip on them. Again, unlike the 1199 that has the most slippery pegs ever on a motorcycle. Holy Jesus, this thing just pulls. Woo! Yeah, this, I mean, there's no surprise. You know, it's a V4. It supposedly has 200 horsepower. You know, those numbers are always jaded a little bit. But the cool thing is, you can definitely tell it's got a ton of power. And if you're used to riding Ducatis, if you're used to riding 11 and 1299s, 1098s, 1198s, any of the brand, any of the previous bikes, you're gonna get on this and feel really comfortable. I will say this, The rear sets are a tad bit higher. As I just put my feet up there, it felt a little bit different. However, as I was saying, you're gonna ride and you're gonna be really comfortable kind of straight away on it. And that's honestly a really odd thing for Ducati, because they're not generally easy bikes to ride. They're quirky, they're peaky, you know, they do weird things. But this, hop on and go, man. Turn key and go. The power of this bike is unreal. The flickability, because of the counter-rotating crank, is superb. Like, I think, you know, I think that the 1299 changed directions very well. This does it on a completely different level. And as I was saying earlier, the steering is telepathic. You want it to go left, there you go, it goes left. You want it to go right, it goes right. You know, it's incredibly intuitive and in tune with you as a rider. And I've only been on it for like 6 miles. So I know some people are like, well, that's not nearly long enough to get a good feel for it. Yes and no. I think it is. You can really tell how a bike feels kind of straight away. Yeah, when I get my Speciale, which again, guys, is on order, it should be here in May, you can still feel right away whether you like it or not. A lot of you guys that don't like Ducatis because of the way they ride, or because you think they're hard, or they're hot, or they're this or that, try this bike out. It will change you. It is so far, it is a superb bike on the streets, not just the track. The mirrors. So easy that was, one-handed. The mirrors. Okay, for the longest time, the 1199 mirrors, garbage. Didn't work at all. I mean, you gotta say reflected things, sure, but you couldn't see them because of how much vibration that bike has. Go for the 1299. They reposition where the mounts are. It's a little more sturdy. The mirrors are a little bit better. Still a lot of vibration. Still hard to see. These, I think this one's loose, but this one's been solid. And because the engine is so smooth, you don't have nearly the vibration that you normally would with the other bikes. So if you're one of those people who like to use mirrors like I do, it's a welcome thing. Okay, this is totally different, completely off topic again. 6th gear at 48 miles an hour you cannot do, because it's only 3,500 to 3,000 RPMs in the 1299 and the 1199. They don't like this rev range at all. It'd be clogging. I'm usually in 4th right now. 6th gear, 47, 45-ish miles an hour. Smooth. It's not lugging, it's not trying too hard, it's not bogged down. That is a huge, huge, huge step up, because for the longest time, you're in 3rd gear, 4th gear around the highway, which creates heat and everything else. Not on this bad boy. I think it's gonna be a good everyday bike. Holy shit. Oh man, the pull on this thing. I'm not going back down Bell Road, that's asinine. We're gonna go back on the highway. Oh, yeah. This the pull, man. I love the pull. So what's crazy about this bike is at low speeds it sounds like a V-twin and it pulls like a V-twin. At higher speed it starts to rev much like a 4-cylinder. And that combination, man, it's fantastic. Those of you guys that have Aprilias, I'm sure you can attest to the way that works, but for Ducati to kind of nail the split of motors but still combine them in a way that they just work beautifully in unison, man, they did it right. If these don't win some shootouts, I'd be surprised, because man, is it a good bike. Man, is it a good bike. The handling. Woo! I've never been so confident going around turns. Well, I'm pretty confident in general, but on a bike I've never been on, you know, you're always a little tentative on it, especially on something that's not yours. I mean, granted, it's the dealership, so I feel a little better about kind of wringing it out a little bit, but in general, you usually got to get a feel for the bike. And like I said, you can hop on this thing and feel comfortable on it nearly straight away. It doesn't take a lot to get a feel for this motorcycle. It just doesn't. And what's cool but scary is there's gonna be a bunch of riders that are 600 riders that are looking for a 1000cc bike. They're gonna come to this. I think this is too much for someone looking to do that. However, it rides and operates so well that I don't think they're actually going to have a problem with it. It's just there is a ton of power in this bike. I mean a ton. I barely have cracked the throttle on this thing, and I'm well over 60 in first gear and heading to second. Man, again, base model. Suspension is not the top of the line that they have for the S and the Speciale. However, the ride is plush. I've never said that about a superbike that's Ducatis. They're never plush. Like, I got a ride back down to Tucson, 150 miles, and I am dreading now on my 1299. Simply because this, man, she's good. Man, she's good. People, if you're in the market for a 1000cc bike, give her a try. Ride the other ones. Everyone's got their own flavor. Ducati, you're my flavor. Honestly, this is real world riding right here. I'm riding on the streets, around town. I'm not burning up. It is a 65-degree day, so yes, you can say it's cooler, but normally your butt is roasting a little bit. Normally. It is nowhere close to being warm. I mean, like, it's honestly a tad chilly right now. I'm used to my bum being warmed. It's not being warmed. It's actually chilly. Again, the heat is going to be on your right calf, right ankle area. And I have a feeling in the summertime, especially here in Arizona, it's going to be a bit much. I think unless you're wearing long pants, you're going to dislike it. Love the dash on this bike. I'm going to do a close-up and a walk around with it and kind of show you all, not every little bit of it. I'm just going to do a nice walk around. There's tons of reviews out there showing all the giggly bits of it. If you've had your nose turned up to trying Ducati, this is the one to give a shot for sure. Again, round town, 5th gear, we go to 6. She cruises. This is what I look for in a daily rider. You know, that's why I love the S1000RRs. They're a great daily riding bike and they're stupid fast. And they do so much for you. The only thing I wish this had, cruise control. If this thing had cruise control, I don't think any other bike on the market would have a chance. But, you know what? Ducati's the way they are. They make race bikes. They don't make freaking cruisers. Not the S1000RR is a cruiser, but you know what I'm saying. Oh God, I'm so stuffed up. I'm so glad I got to do this review though. So this is the race mode. Wheelie control's off. I just gave it, I'd say 3/4 throttle. Gave it the beans a little bit, and she came up lickety split. Man, that was 3rd to 1st, and no jerkiness, just straight smooth. this thing just wants to go. There's something I love about Ducati is there's a brutalness to it. Like, while this bike is much more smooth than what the other ones have been, there's still a brutalness to it. And that's what I love about Ducatis. And this bike still has that brutalness to it, still has that grunt that I just love. And I've always loved about Ducatis. It's what got me hooked on them. There's a rawness feeling about them. This is a much more refined version. However, it still has it. It still embodies that rawness, that grunt, that ferocious pull that Ducati has. Sitting here right now, I'm not burning up. This is weird. I don't understand it. I just don't understand it. I could ride this all day. It's one of those bikes. You don't want to get off of it. I mean, it's insanely powerful, but you don't want to get off of it. Oh my God. Woo! That was a 4th to 5th gear pull. That wasn't nowhere close to wide open throttle. This bike has so much more to give. Man. So much more to give. You're a beautiful beast, and I love you. I cannot wait to have you in my arms. Sorry, hon, I got a new love. I'm not cheating on you, but she is a sexy Italian fucking beast. That's what she is. She's finally an Italian model that decided to eat a little bit. I'll tell you what, the extra weight, totally unnoticeable. Between the 1199 and this, you don't notice it at all. Just a beautifully turning bike. Jesus Christ. So normally in second gear at this speed, 1299 very, 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 very jerky. 1199 even worse. Here you can be smooth. It's quite nice. It's quite nice. People just don't know how to use a roundabout. They really don't. Guys in the UK, you all know how to do roundabouts. Here, not so much.